I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but good. But I need to be, because we need to shout this from the rooftops. We are involved in an existential war against Hamas and Iran. And while it's an existential war, why are we funding Palestine and Iran? And do you know who funded Iran? Barack Obama sent, what, $4 billion to Iran at night on pallets in cash? He did. Look it up. We did not owe Iran that money because the Shah's government was the government with whom the U.S. was doing business. Think about Louis XVI and when the Jacobins murdered him, and it's called the French Revolution. The United States owed France some money, but that contract was null and void, because I cannot murder somebody and then go to his creditors and say, I want what you owe him. I killed him, but he's dead, but I want what you owe him. No, Barack Obama's logic is different, because Barack Obama and Joe Biden are international socialists. And if you don't believe me, Joe Biden opened the border. He doesn't believe in borders. He's not a Nazi, but he calls us Nazis. But we're not Nazis. Nazis are also leftists. I'm to the right. Stalin was an international communist, and Hitler was a national communist or national socialist. But they're both socialist. Like I said, Karl Marx did not differentiate between the two, but Hitler did. Hitler said, yes, it's not a dictatorship of the proletariat. It's a national ethnic boundary. But we're still socialist. The government will run the businesses, and we'll regulate wages. We'll do everything. It's not free market. It's not capitalism. So I'm going to summarize. If you like Joe Biden, there's something wrong with you, or you are a socialist, which means you're against God, which means you're against capitalism. You're against truth. It means you're against individualism. You believe the group's more important. Group identity is more important. In other words, you're an evil person and a satanic. There's no other way to say it than that. So check out these satanic people repeating the same lies over and over and over and over. Trump completed his term. Look at the lies. Look at the propaganda, and it's utterly frustrating and pure evil.
A bombshell.
Today is a turning point. Today was historically bad for President Trump.
Today was a turning point.
A turning point.
We're at a turning point here.
The beginning of the end for the Trump presidency.
The beginning of the end.
And breaking news.
We have another bombshell.
Mike Pence might have to assume the office of the presidency.
The call for impeachment.
Rumblings of the word impeachment.
Breaking news.
Another bombshell out of the White House.
I believe this is the beginning of the end.
I do too.
It's really the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
He may be feeling the walls closing in on him.
All the walls closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
Breaking news, a new bombshell.
One astrologer says this means the beginning of the end for President Donald Trump.
The beginning of the end of the Trump presidency.
Trump will resign.
Trump is going to resign.
Is this the tipping point? I know we've said it over and over.
You think this is a tipping point?
And over and over.
This is a tipping point.
And over and over.
Breaking news, President Trump off the rails.
It was the beginning of the end today.
The beginning of the end.
It reminds me a lot of the last days of Nixon.
Breaking news tonight, new bombshell.
This is the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The walls are closing in.
The walls closing in.
The walls closing in.
Breaking overnight bombshell.
This is a very dramatic day, and I think it might be near a tipping point. Do you think this is a tipping point?
This is unbelievable. This is remarkable. Have you ever seen anything like this?
His presidency is crippled.
December 1st, 2017, you can mark it down. This is the day that everything changed.
We begin with
mark it down. That's how effed up things are. But there's more to this. Let's watch.
the bombshell.
The beginning of the end?
The beginning of the end.
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 In fact, if this were a football game, we're in the third quarter. May even be the beginning of the end.
We begin tonight with the bombshell. Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.
Trump is in trouble.
The president will resign.
Another hour, another bombshell.
This is a tipping point.
Trump's going down.
This president could be impeached.
I do not think the president will serve out his term. Resignation. I don't think this president is going to serve out his term. Mr. Trump will not serve out his term. He will not serve out his term. No way know-how.
Breaking news.
Absolute bombshell. I think Donald Trump is in trouble.
Donald Trump is not. He's done. And it's over. It's over.
The wall's closing in.
The wall's closing in. This is going to be the Achilles heel.
Breaking news tonight, I expect Trump to depart. This week will be the watershed week. Trump is in big trouble.
Trump's in a lot of trouble.
It's a sign of a terrified old man who feels the
Walls
Closing in.
The walls
are increasingly
Closing in on him.
Tonight, the walls
are closing in.
today changed everything. This is the beginning
Of the end.
Today, the biggest
tipping point for the Trump administration.
What a historic day. The bombshells they fell.
It's entropy and it's crumbling internally.
He's underwater. He feels
the walls closing in.
Could his testimony be a turning point?
We may be at a tipping point.
It's the beginning of
The end.
The beginning
Of the end.
Another bombshell.
bombshell.
Bombshell, bombshell.
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 This is a bombshell.
It is a bombshell.
I am beginning to resent the word bombshell.
Biden's ransom payment will be immediately used to stoke violence, bloodshed, and mayhem throughout the Middle East, putting Israel, the United States, and the entire world in very grave peril.
Anybody goes to hell, you'll see Biden's at every level.